channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. My name is Nenye and I make videos on education, personal finance and personal development for F1 and H1B visa holders, so basically for like immigrants. So today I am going to be talking about how you can save up for emergency fund even though you're still in college. You guys know that I'm all about leveling up your finances, especially as an international student in the US, because again, you only got yourself, no one else got you here. So you have to, like, be proactive. You have to always make sure like you have like some backup money. So today we're going to talk about how to save up this emergency fund even while in college, and how I was able to save up almost 20,000 even while I was graduating college. These tips are honestly really basic tips, like I guess common sense tips, but I feel like some people don't really know that it goes a long way. So I'm just gonna list these tips out and hopefully you guys find them useful. So the first thing is work on campus. I know this one is kind of like pretty basic, but yes, as an international student you get only like 20 hours of work every week while the semester is still in progress, so you can only work 20 hours. Now I attended Berea College, and Berea, like, we're only paid like $4 an hour. Like minimum wage was supposed to be like $8, but in Berea we're paid $4 an hour, and we're able to work we were supposed to work at least 10 hours every week. But me, I was like, I was working 20 hours. I was working 2 jobs. So, and I was able to use the money that I got from those jobs. I was able to save them. So basically, work on campus. If you can work 2 jobs and it's not going to be detrimental to your mental health, to your physical health, or even to like your education, then yes, go ahead and work those 2 jobs and save your money from those 2 jobs. Because the thing is, people make money. America is such a consumerism place. It's like you make money and you spend it immediately. But no, when you make that money, save it. Just spend it on the necessities that you need and the things that you need to pay, and then save the rest of the money. So basically that was the first thing. The second thing that I did was, for internship, I negotiated my pay. Now, my first internship, like my very first internship, was I was getting paid. Well, the first thing they told me they were gonna pay me was $13 an hour, and I was like, $13 an hour? I mean, not bad for an internship, especially for a first internship, but I was trying to make money. I talked to my manager. I didn't even know then that it was like negotiation, right? The only thing I was thinking about was I needed to make money. So I talked to my manager, and my manager also liked me, and I was like, are you gonna provide me with like transportation and housing or any other thing? Because I didn't have a car, and I mean, I'm an intern, I'm a student, I'm broke. And he was like, okay, let me get back to you. So he got back to me like 2-3 days later, and he was like, okay, we're gonna increase your pay from $13 to $15, and then we're gonna also take care of your transportation. And yeah, that was it. So they took care of my transportation. They did not take care of my housing. I had to pay my housing by myself. The feeding, I also had to pay my feeding by myself. But the thing is, the office was kind of like a pretty jovial place. In the morning there was always like breakfast. I don't know how, but there was always breakfast in the office in the morning, and there was always lunch. So it's like, you go to office, you just eat there. You eat lunch, and then dinner was basically the only thing I bought. So I didn't really also spend a lot of money on food. So that was also something else that helped me save. So negotiate. Even though I didn't know that technically I was negotiating at that point, I still negotiated. And I didn't even know about all the whole, fear-mongering thing of like, oh, if you negotiate, they might reinside your offer or something. I just went and I was like, I am a broke college student. I need you guys to kind of like increase this. And it was very funny because they just did. But then as you negotiate, also kind of like look up tips on negotiation so that you know that you're doing it in the correct way. So yes, that's the second thing that I was gonna say. Internships usually pay a lot of money. If you're working like just in campus, and this I'm talking about is during the summer. If you're working just on campus during the summer, you're probably gonna be getting paid like $8 an hour, $9 an hour. You're gonna be getting paid minimum wage. But if you're working for like an internship, you're at least gonna be getting paid above minimum wage. And let me say, 5 times out of 10, those internships, those companies usually provide like transportation or housing for interns, because they know that you guys do not have money. So that is another way to kind of like start building up your emergency fund. Now for your internship, right, remember that you're now working. It's going to be during the summer, so you're working 40 hours a week, not 20 hours a week. So this time around you're going to be making like double of what you're making if the semester was still in progress. Now I've seen a lot of people, like I had a lot of friends then that during their internship they're like spending all their money. I'm not saying don't have fun, no, but there's a difference between having fun and ruining your life. So I used to have some, I mean, there was this guy that I knew, we weren't really friends, but like he was like a set above me, and he worked for like one Fortune 500 company, right? And his housing, his transportation, basically the internship paid for everything, and the internship was still paying him between like 8k to 9k a month. That's how much he was getting paid. So the total of the internship was about 3 to 4 months, because I remember he told me that he had $30,000, like that was the total. And this was during the semester, and I was like, oh wow, so that means you're rich. And he said no. And I was like, okay, you were able to save up $30,000 from an internship. I mean, for a student, that's rich. And he said he spent everything. I was like, it's not even been up to a year, you've spent everything. How? And he was like, well, he was having fun, he had to live up his life, he had to blah blah blah. And I was just like, I mean, you guys tell me if I'm crazy or something, because $30,000 is a lot of money, and spending it like during your internship and like literally the next semester after your internship, I don't know, but maybe it's just me. I mean, that's a lot of money to just spend lavishly like that, especially knowing that it's not like you're working full-time, that you know you can always get that money back. You're basically just an intern. After your internship is done, you go back to your school. So that kind of like really made me feel some type of, because I was just like, okay, that's weird, but again, you do you. I'm not gonna judge you, it's your life. So yeah, so that's the second way that I would say to kind of like make money, to be able to save up for emergency. And then the next thing that I'm going to say is to kind of like write out your expenses. So a lot of people, you know, they get tired. I know I've mentioned to some of my friends, I'm like, why not write out your expenses and know how much you actually spend in a month? And they're like, oh, that's exhausting, oh, that's too much, oh, why do I need to do that? But that's the thing, if you do that, you actually see where your money is going into. You know, a lot of times we're always swiping our card, that, you know, we don't realize where that money we're swiping is going into. It's like, oh, pay for this, so you swipe your card, you pay. Oh, I want to buy this, you swipe your card, you pay. But the thing is, if at the end of every month you do some checks and balances, you check in how much you brought in that month, and then check how much left your bank accounts that month, I'm telling you, you're going to be humbled. That's when you see that you're literally spending without like a second thought. So what you can do is, this was what I did for myself. I knew how much I was going to, like, I knew the necessities that I needed for a month, and then I will give a buffer to it, just in case, say instead of this being like 200 is like a 250, I'll just give like some little buffer and give some little room for it. And then I would have those as necessities, and then I would have, like, you know, my spending money, like the money that I'll use to like flex or like, you know, eat out or hang out with friends. Because just because you're saving doesn't mean that you have to put your life on hold. No, the main thing is just to do everything in moderation, and then I would then have like what I'm saving. So basically, and the way it worked for me also was that as my money was coming in, I was taking out the amount I knew I was going to be saving and investing for that month, and then I would then have out the rest in my checking account, and then I'll have out the rest in my checking account, and that's where that's gonna be. So the thing now is, when I take out my money first and put it in my savings, which I don't touch at all, like a high yield saving account, when I take out my money and put it in a high yield saving account, I'm not touching that money again. That money is like for just emergency. Because the thing is, if you leave that money in your checking account and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna spend it, no, you will spend it. You will spend it. Human beings, we are emotional beings when it comes to money. The thing is, we know what we want to do. Logically, we know what we want to do. We like to think that we're logical when it comes to spending money, but no, we're more emotional than logical. What you have to do is, whenever you get paid, as a student, and this I'm talking just to students right now. I'm not even saying like when you're making big money. No, whenever you get paid, take out the money for your savings, put it in your savings account, then take out the money for your necessities, put it in your checking account. Well, it's technically going to be your checking account, but you can have like 2 accounts in like one checking account. I do have that. Put it in your checking account, and then the other one that is for like flexing and for like having fun and doing whatever you want to do, you have it in a different account, so that at this point you know what you're swiping for. I don't know if that makes sense, guys. I actually learned this trick when I was in I think it was my sophomore year. I learned it from a girl in our class. Then she told me she had like 5 checking accounts, and I was like, 5 checking accounts? What for? And she kind of like started listing, oh, this one is for this, oh, this one is for this, oh, this one's for this. So I went to the bank that weekend and I talked to like the accountant, and she was like, yeah, there's some people do that and have cards for all of them. So it's kind of like they know, like for instance, if you know that this is like your money for chilling out with friends and whatever, you take that card, the card that is bound to that checking account for chilling with friends, you take that card, and that's what that's the only card you're gonna go out with that day, because it keeps you in check. It's like, even if you want to swipe from the other accounts, you can't really, because you don't even have their cards. So that kind of like helps. And then also something else that I did is, if you know, for instance, you want to save like $12,000 in, I want to say 2 years, because as a student you're not really making that much money, so you know it's like $6,000 per year. Don't look at it as $6,000 per year and be like, oh my god, that's huge. No. So break that $6,000 into 12 months. So we have 12 months in a year, right? So that's gonna be like $500 per month, right? Now since it's $500 per month, break that $500 into 30, because we have like what, 30 days in a month. That's gonna be like $16, like between $16 to $17 a day. So that means each day you're supposed to be making at least $16 to be able to save up to $6,000 in a year. I don't know if that makes sense, because the thing is, when you break it down like this, it becomes less huge to you. It becomes less, oh my god, how am I gonna be able to save $6,000, you know? So by the time you break it down like this, it kind of like, okay, I'm supposed to be making $16 a day. So that's like, if I'm getting paid $8 an hour, I should be working at least 3 hours every day, because I mean, of course, they're gonna take out taxes and everything. So if you do the math like that, it makes you less fearful about saving. So the next thing I'll say is also take out the money little by little, kind of like almost what I just talked about, but like again, we look at it as $6,000, but what you can just do is every paycheck, if you want to save $6,000 in like a year, every paycheck you put in a certain amount of money. Okay, since you know, we've broken it down and we know, okay, $6,000 comes to about $16 an hour, $16 a day. Every day you can put in $16. If you don't want to do it every day, you can just do it in a month. In a month, if you're putting in $500, instead of like, you know, thinking about it as if it's such a huge thing. Yeah guys, these are kind of like the tips that I had. All of this put together is what helped me. It might look very basic, but trust me, by the time you start implementing this, and by the time you start thinking about it that way, by the time you start thinking about money that way and start kind of like implementing it, it's gonna help you, and you're gonna see that, oh, you can actually do it. Again, we're not saying don't have fun, but have fun in moderation. I've seen people that, like, you know, they keep swiping their credit card, and in my head I'm like, you know, you can't really afford this. Why are you constantly swiping and swiping and swipe? And I'm not saying swiping for like an emergency, like maybe they went to the hospital or something. No, you want a new shoe, you want a new bag, you want a new, and I'm just like, okay, well, we don't judge over here, okay? We don't judge over here. But yes, so I hope this tips helps you guys, especially the students, because I know how hard it can be to be able to save money as a student. And yeah, if it helped you guys, let me know. Also, let me know what kind of video you like to see next, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I will see you guys in another video.